Colm and Lucy Podcast with Colm Hayes and Lucy Kennedy.
From Nova.ie and Radio Nova.
Colm's away, but the podcast continues. G'day, Clint Dreberg here from the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show. And on this podcast, thank goodness Colm was away, because I got to chat to Francis Brennan with Lucy Kennedy. And boy, the fancy hotelier, what a shock you will get when he tells us what time he goes to bed. We also find out what movies are worth watching. I have seen Rialto and the new thing on Netflix. Stay tuned for what they're all about. Christy Dignam is on the show as well. Poor Christy, it's a rough time for him and all musicians in the country at the moment. We go around the world to meet an Irishman who's living in Slovakia, an Irish comedian who also teaches kids in school. Who would have thought? We find out whether Colm's dog Rocky has limp tail, or perhaps not. And we also give you a dose of good news. It's all part of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show podcast.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
It is the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show here on Radio Nova. And I'm a little bit nervous, I have to say. Not often do I get nervous meeting celebrities and talking to them, Lucy. I've spoken to a few. But when Colm said he was taking today off and I got to talk to our next guest, I got to say I jumped out of my skin. He's the first person I saw on Irish television when I landed in this country 5 years ago. And did you know, Lucy, our next guest has been keeping a diary every day since he received one for Christmas as a young boy in 1966. He made a New Year's resolution that he would write in it daily and has kept that resolution every year since. He's known across Ireland for his impeccable taste and high standards, and now he's doing the diary thing for you to do at home next year.
Love it.
It's called the Homekeeper's Diary. It's planning your year ahead, and I am honoured to welcome Francis Brennan. Good morning, Francis.
Oh, Francis.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
Yes, Francis, great to have you on the show. First of all, what have you been doing during lockdown? A hotelier, what does he do during lockdown?
Well, I finished the book, as the fellow says, which was great, and got the Publishers Guilds 2 weeks early, which was very good. They were excited.
Yeah.
Okay. And I walked the roads of Kerry. Well, not the roads of Kerry, the roads near where I live. I live on the Ring of Kerry. Dangerous road, very busy. No traffic during the lockdown, and I walked every day for 2 miles up and down the road and enjoyed hedgerow, would you believe? Very simple, but I didn't let it excited or down, and I spent 13 weeks in lockdown. Absolutely did not go out.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Were you literally on your own at home?
On my own at home. I came back from America on the 16th of March, having been in 19 airports. Imagine the threat I was to Ireland, right? So I went up the hill to my house and sat quietly there for the 2 weeks, which was required at the time. And my niece, Ruth, brought me out bits and pieces as required and shouted to me across the garden, never came into the house. And then the government brought in the 2 kilometres route rule. And I couldn't go right or left, only 2 kilometres, which is nothing. I'm in the middle of the country, up a field and down a field, virtually, all right? So I ended up 13 weeks in lockdown, but I read loads of books. As I say, I finished the book and I did all sorts of things and I didn't obsess. If I was reading a book at 3:00 in the afternoon, that was great because I had no responsibility to be anywhere and the hotel was closed. So, I just got on with it.
But for
Did you start baking?
Sorry,
everyone started to bake.
No, I don't. I'm not a baker, although I have a gorgeous aga with 4 ovens. And when I got the aga, I was only get 2 ovens originally, but the fella made a mistake and gave me 4 ovens. And my mother said, 4. Well, she says, what are you going to do with the 4 ovens? I said, I don't know, but I still have them 30 years later, and I love my aga. I talk to
I'd love one.
And for a person who's so used to serving others and looking after people, with the hotel closed and things like that, Francis, can I say I was very lucky to take my in-laws down to your hotel and spend a lovely couple of nights at your hotel, and it is worth every penny to do so. You look after people so well. But how do you get out of that mode then? Like you said, you were on your own for so long. You're used to mixing with people and...
Busy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, busy. I know I am very, very busy. And I was never at home for 3 months in my life, of course, I needn't tell you. But I did some gardening. I planted all sorts of plants, which was nice. Sweet pea, which didn't bloom. But I hear I'm in the whole country has sweet pea that didn't bloom. There's an issue for you now to worry about, okay? So I did all sorts of things like that. And but I'm great to, as a person, I always compartmentalize my mind. Okay. And I just said, we have to do this. It's for the good of the country.
Yes.
We're being advised to do this. I'm over 65, so I have to just be careful.
Yeah.
So I just did that. I didn't obsess about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think you have the right attitude, because if we did obsess about it, none of us would want to wake up.
Well, no, that's true. And we were very lucky in the country because the weather was fantastic.
It was,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Thanks be to God. Nice. Because, if you were locked away for 3 months and it was like, well, we had a bad day here yesterday. I think you had a lovely day in Dublin. But we had a sky on the ground day, as I call it, yesterday. Missed the whole day long. And if we had that now for 3 months, we would have been like...
No.
whole
We'd all be
different
Debbie Downers.
So
yeah.
The
We've
Homekeeper's
done-
Diary then, Francis. You've managed to finish it off during lockdown and share all your expertise with everyone. What
beautiful.
I love about the book is it literally is a diary. There's something in there for every week to keep yourself on the straight and narrow, as I like to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole intention. And really, as a diary, I believe it's meant to be left in the kitchen, on the worktop somewhere, so you can look like ahead every few days, all right? Or in the hall at the phone. So you can kind of see what's coming up. And for people like Lucy and me and yourself, that's ideal to know that on Tuesday, well, you're meant to be in Dunmore East, but you're not now because it was changed this morning. So you have to be rubbing in and out of the diary. But anyway, that's just the way it is. But it'll be an ideal thing. And then there's all sorts of little tips and helps for all age groups throughout the thing,
And they're seasonal too, Francis. They're seasonal. You've got seasonal tips there for the different times of year as well.
Yeah. Like if it's spring, it's rhubarb. If it's September, it's apples and blackberries. If it's November, it's make the Christmas cake or the pudding or whatever. So they're just gentle reminders as the year goes forward what you should be looking out for.
I love it. But Francis, even things that I loved, like just leaving space, like doctor, dentist, your PPS number, child's blood, dentist, electrician. But because I spend my life going through my phone, Googling and trying to find numbers. This seems so simple, but it makes so much sense to have everything written down in one book.
Yeah, you sit down for an hour one day and you write everything, your blood type, your PPS number, the plumber, because when the flood starts, you don't want to read your plumber. So, simple things like that. That's the way we thought about it. And then also we have all those, weights and measures and pounds and ounces and milligrams and
it's brilliant.
kilometres and all explained in the front, which is a great help for people, particularly in the baking world, because you were asking me earlier on about like a lot of the recipes that you call up now, and Lucy, would be American recipes, and they're referred to American measures like a cup of flour and a stick of sugar. Nobody has a notion what a cup of flour and a stick of sugar is in Ireland. So we debunk all that and make it easy to understand.
Now,
it's
Francis,
brilliant. I also love the washing symbols. Clint, have you seen the washing symbols, page 22?
Exactly. That's the
Did
page.
you ever know there were so many?
I cannot believe. I thought there were 4, and now it turns out there's about 504.
Did you look at every washing machine in the country, Francis? How did you do that?
Yeah. No, we had great fun putting that together, all right, getting all of those together,
Now, we've got to play a song and come back. Francis,
so you can keep it forever.
We do have to play a song and come back to you. We've got our final 5 questions to ask. But before that, I just have to ask you, it says here that you've kept a diary ever since 1966. Where are they all?
Correct. They're upstairs they're in a Weir's bag, would you believe it, as in the jewellers, because the bag fitted what I needed to do with them, bringing them away somewhere in the recent past. I have all of them chronologically laid out up in a bag upstairs, and if the house went on fire this morning, I'd be grabbing me diaries.
Is that the first thing you'd grab?
That's the first thing I grab,
So all your secrets are in there, Francis, all of them?
But no, very funny now like that. There are no secrets in my diaries.
No.
Never was. Probably, it's no emotion shown in the diary.
Never write it down.
Only
You're right.
This, that, and the other. Talk to Craig and Lucy or whatever it was. Things of that nature.
I love it, Francis. We're going to play some Who. We'll come back with our final 5 questions. We're talking to the fantastic Francis Brennan.
The one and only.
Thank you.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
The Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show, Clint Drieberg with you, and I'm so glad that Colm's away today, Lucy Kennedy, because I get to talk to the one and only Francis Brennan, hotelier and author, best-selling author with a lovely gold-embossed book he has out now, The Homekeeper's Diary, all the best advice for a smooth-running home life. And Lucy, can I say, Deirdre's texted in. Francis, you might want to say good morning to Deirdre, a big fan who got a present of your book yesterday, and she sent the copy in there.
Great. Yeah. Don't forget to start it now and keep it going all the year. Don't be doing just January and leaving it alone then. Keep at it.
I know, yeah. I was saying to Francis, it's just so beautiful. Like, it's a really good quality.
Great
and
present.
The colours, like this would match everybody's kitchen. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. it'll fish in everywhere.
Now, Francis, I'm sorry, but it's time to get serious here. We ask these final 5 questions of all our celebrity guests, only the big name guests like yourself, Francis. You are up there in the echelons of people.
I'm going to give you a fright now, Kent. You're like the Kigger. Now, you haven't a notion what the Kigger is, have you?
No, I don't.
What is that? Is it some creepy Australian?
Lucy. The Kigger, Lucy. No.
You know I'm thick. You know I'm thick in real life. I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Kigger, the inspector that comes to the school and asks questions.
Oh.
Do you remember him?
No, I'm only 12.
Well, no, you're only half my age, I suppose. No, when we were young, the Kigger would come from the Department of, and he'd go into any class and ask, as a kind of a test for the teachers.
How scary.
So it was scary for the school. It was scary for us as well.
Yes.
So, like this here with your 5 big questions, Craig.
Okay, here we go.
They're not scary in the slightest.
Okay, I will ask the first one because I'm a bit of a movie fan,
Clint,
Francis.
you go first.
I do like the film, so I want to know the last movie you watched, Francis.
The last movie I watched it was on Netflix. Now, a bit complicated because it was in Spanish with subtitles.
Oh, for the love of
Pete. It wouldn't be the one, but it was the Baz Luhrmann trilogy. It was a bit dark now, but very well put together, and I enjoyed it. And I know one thing, it was in the Navarro region of Spain, and I'm never going because it absolutely poured rain constantly on the film.
Okay, good to know.
Oh my God, how did he put their name or where it was on the film? Because the rain was just torrential the whole 3 films. It was 3 films, all right? But I enjoyed it anyway.
Okay.
That was Netflix.
It sounds awful. Okay. But now, you probably don't... Right. The last takeaway you ate. Takeaway.
Fish and chips from Wharton's van here, halfway between Kenmare and here. They do the best fish and chips in Ireland. I've said it before. They had a shop in town for years. They've moved out now to a van, and you have to line up and get your fish and chips, and they are delicious. And it might be about 2 months ago.
Francis Brennan lines up. I'm excited about that even.
Oh, he has to queue. He has to queue like everyone else.
Yeah.
What about what time did you go to bed last night, Francis? Are you do you sleep a lot of hours? Do you do a lot of little hours?
No. I light out at 2:10 last night.
What?
Why?
I always listen to late night radio RTE1 with Faith O'Brien on our call. I think it is called at night, and then I listen to the 2:00 news, and then I'm gone.
Cheapest.
I go to
2 a.m. 2 in the morning.
2 a.m. Yeah, 2 in the morning. Yeah.
What?
I only
You're so weird.
6 hours.
Why?
Why? Because that's
very
all
strange.
I've ever done.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, and you look very fresh, Francis. We're looking at you on Zoom.
What time do you get up at?
Well, I was up this morning at 8:15.
Oh my God, you're a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are a little
but one
vampire.
of those. Anyway, I'm surviving on it. I'll be a long number of years, so I'm fine.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. It's working. Okay, when was the last time you wore a hat?
Wore a hat? Oh, in Donegal, 3 weeks ago we were filming, and it was wild and windy and wet, and I wore a hat. And actually a Donegal McGee tweed hat that I have for 20 years, I'd say. Somebody gave it to me one Christmas. A cap, now not a hat.
A cap, yes,
It was a cap.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good. And Francis Brennan, I have to ask you the final of our 5 questions. When was the last time you cried?
Oh, always at a movie.
Yeah.
Bago was on about 2 weeks ago on the television, all right? But I've seen it 10 times, but I bawl crying every time.
Good film.
Yeah, good film.
Face,
That makes sense.
These are gases all together. So, but that's great. I love to cry.
It's good to get it out.
I love a good cry. It feels so much better.
Yeah.
Francis, where can people get your diaries from?
Well, it should be available in all the bookshops now, seeing as it's out 10 days, all right? I see it trending, Lucy, as to say, on the list of bestsellers. So it's available in all good bookshops, Eason's, Dubray, O'Mahony's in Tralee or wherever, I imagine. I don't know, because we're not signing this year. It's a bit complicated, but it is in all good bookshops.
And Francis, I just want to end on this. People have been texting in all morning. The phones are running hot. A lovely message here from the Smith family in Clontarf. We stayed in the Park Hotel over the summer. It was fantastic. Francis and John are brilliant employers. The staff love them. Thanks for the memories, Francis. The Smith family in Clontarf. Now, that is a sign of a good team. If the staff love working there and the people who stay there love working there, you're running a good ship, Francis.
Yeah.
We won't change our ways, let's say.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Look after yourself.
Thanks,
I always love talking to you.
Keep well. Keep safe.
You too.
And buy
God
yourself
bless.
the Home Keeper's Diary for 2021. Start a tradition like little Francis Brennan did back in 1966.
Yeah.
Keep a diary for yourself every year.
I'm starting today.
Are you, Lucy? Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to start my diary today.
Thank you very much, Francis. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Francis.
Thank you, bye.
Take care.
Bye.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
We're heading to Slovakia, folks, because Oscar Brophy is from Ballyheigue in County Kerry, but he now lives
Good
in
man.
Bratislava in Slovakia. Just told us that he's there 4 years to the day. He lives there with his partner Hanka and their baby Misko, and works as an English
love
teacher.
Misko.
Misko's a great name, isn't he?
Yeah.
Works as an English teacher and a stand-up comedian with 9,500 cases and 45 deaths in the country of 5.5 million. They are unfortunately going back into lockdown tomorrow, I think it is. So to tell us more, we have Oscar on Skype from Bratislava. Oscar, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dobry Rano, as they say.
Good morning.
So in
Dobry
Slovakian,
Rano.
Dobry Remo.
Dobry Rano.
Ah.
Rano, yeah.
Very good. So now you have very few deaths, thankfully, and not too many
God, yeah.
cases, yeah. But you're going back into lockdown. Is this, so are the cases rising again in Slovakia?
Yeah, cases are, I think, been doing maybe
God.
300-ish a day, 300-ish a day for the last few weeks. So,
Right.
It's like here.
so they're going back in. We had a pretty good summer. You know, I think the lockdown here was almost over by, June. You
Yeah.
know, all the bars were open, the borders were open. So we were, traveling around, moving pretty freely.
Right.
But, yeah, as of tomorrow now, masks are going to be mandatory outside again. So if you're within 2 meters of someone, you have to wear a mask.
Okay.
And they're going to limit the amount of people in supermarkets and bars and stuff closing from 10 p.m. and restaurants.
Okay, so it's not a complete lockdown. It's like
Doesn't sound too bad.
Lockdown. It's not,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, compared to what's been going on in Ireland, I suppose it's grand. We were quite lucky
Yeah, it's doable.
here over the summer. Yeah.
Yeah. So
When you say going back to wearing masks, did you stop wearing masks?
Outside, yeah. I mean, for a while, like they were completely mandatory outside. Even
Yeah.
if you were within 20 meters of a person.
Yeah.
No, I never saw it enforced, but it was just
right.
it was the done thing.
Yeah.
So
Interestingly enough, I was just reading and you're going to have an article in the Irish Times next week, that the schools are back, obviously, and you have this sort of traffic light system for schools. Can you explain that?
Good idea.
yeah, so basically, instead of sending every school in the country home, everyone teaching from home, it's going to be individual classrooms in the school. So if there's one case in the classroom, then or 1-2 cases in the class, then the whole class goes home until everyone gets tested, and then they come back. It's worked out well so far. I teach in 2 schools, and neither of them have closed down. Individual classes certainly have gone home in one school, and there's been a few scares with teachers and stuff. But I think there's one school, maybe half an hour north or an hour north of Bratislava, that has closed down. There was 75 cases in there of children. So hopefully we're hoping to avoid that kind of situation.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got everyone avoided in the thing, so the classes aren't mixing. They're not going for lunch together. They're not, they're going out to play separately. So, yeah.
Okay, so it seems to be working as such there, which on top of it. It's interesting that Slovakia seems to be on top of it more than, let's say, for instance, we're an island nation. You think we should be on top of it. You guys are landlocked. There's countries every direction, north, south, east, and west. But did you close your borders down, or what? And I mean, how did you deal with that?
Yeah, no, they pretty much closed the borders after 2 cases in the country.
Really?
I mean, I think it's still possible to 2 or 3 cases. It was still possible to travel in limited scenarios. I think, the airport here was closed for about 2 months, but it was, I did know people who were, able to they had, various reasons to travel, and they were doing that.
Right.
So it was a bit of I was kind of watching what was going on here, and I was like, they kind of let the cat out of the bag a bit early, I think, in Ireland, or they're closing the gate after the horse bolted.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I know.
Tell us about your partner's 90-year-old grandmother. She's just been, she's got the symptoms. Are she tested positive for COVID?
She did, yeah, but she's grand now. She's in recovery.
Is she?
She had she had a fever, and she was fatigued, and that's pretty much it. I think she had some underlying issues with her eye, and that's gotten a bit worse. But apart from that, she's still alive. She's still
Yeah.
She's still.
Bit of a scare, all the same for her, though.
So 90 years old, she bounced back pretty fast. Yeah, she's tough woman.
What's the weather like there now?
You know, she survived the Germans, she survived the Russians, she survived the collapse of the Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
So you know, she's made of strong stuff.
She's a tough old bird.
Well.
What's the weather like there now? Is it cold? Is it hot?
It's getting cold. I think 13 degrees today, but I mean, you know, during the summer we had 30, 35, 36 most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like I'm back in Ireland now.
Yeah.
This is it. With the cold coming in, I think everyone's kind of worrying about colds and flus, and we're the same here.
Mm-hmm.
So do you get back much now? Obviously, you can't get back to Kerry at all. So when do you see yourself travelling back to see the old homeland?
Fingers crossed. Christmas, fingers crossed. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. We were back. All three of us. We were back in February. Myself, Hannah, and Michael.
Right.
We brought him over for the first time to the homeland.
Yeah.
And we were lucky because that was just maybe 2 weeks before everything shut down. 2 or 3 weeks before. So that was well timed. Could be wild.
To learn more about yourself and your family, Oscar Brophy. It's a great name, Oscar Brophy. Not a very Kerry name, but a good name, Oscar Brophy. You have an article coming out in the Times next week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. On the 15th. So I think it's actually 2 weeks. But there's an article up there already. If you Google on the Irish Times website, Kerry man in Slovakia. That's me.
Right.
I don't think I'm the only Kerry man out here, but
really,
for the purposes of
that's mad.
That's knocking around.
Are you the only Kerry comedian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know a man in Prague. He's Irish American, but his grandparents are from Kerry, so I think that's the closest we've got.
I thought that was the start of a joke.
I know a man in Prague.
I know a man in Prague who's Irish. Oscar, good talking to you. Stay safe and keep your family safe as well. Okay.
Cheers.
And we'll talk to you again.
Thanks very much.
All right. Take care of yourself. That's live
Really
from.
interesting.
Yeah, that's Oscar Brophy live from Bratislava in Slovakia. He's been there 4 years.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
The Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show. There you go. Aslan and Crazy.
Yes, and there's a reason why we've just played that. A, because we're obsessed, and B, because our next guest is one of Ireland's greatest rock stars. Growing up in Finglas, there was only one thing he ever wanted to do, and that was, of course, to sing. Boy, we glad he does. Now, we read in the Irish Daily Star this morning that he could lose his home, as a lot of performers like himself. He faces financial ruin from the coronavirus pandemic, which is not a nice thought, and we'll talk about it now. Christy Dignam, lead singer of Aslan, and our friend joins us on Skype. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lucy. Morning,
How are you doing, my friend?
Good. Just bored down me go.
I'd say you are.
Sorry,
okay,
Christy,
let's go to the house first.
Can you just come a little closer to the mic? There you go. That's great.
What's the story, Christy? Because you're not alone in this. As we said, a lot of performers. You can't perform.
Well, just basically, we're on lockdown since March. Our first, we had a gig in the Olympia on the 16th of March. That was the first gig, the first day it was lockdown. So we haven't gigged since then. And I have a mortgage. Initially, we had a few bob with the band. What we do is when we gig, all the money goes into recording and stuff like that. So we had recording money there. So we've been using that for wages for the last couple of months. But that's gone now. So now we've absolutely no income, and I have a mortgage. All the rest of the band have mortgages. So it's tough. But I mean, there's a lot of people around the country in the same position. It's not just us. Not just me.
But I mean, you make the point in the papers that, the industry raises it like $3.5 billion a year.
Yes.
It's huge. It's huge for tourism. It's huge for us. It's huge for everybody to go out and get some live music, be it theatre, be it seeing yourself in the Ivy Gardens. That's gone, and you guys feel that you've sort of been left behind. That the government have just sort of thrown you onto the pile.
Yeah, like you see, they're starting now. They're working out different deals for pubs and for hotels and for everything. And there's absolutely nothing for the events industry. And as you said, there's 35,000 people work for the events industry. It creates $3.5 billion for the revenue every year. And it's just treated like as if it's not a proper industry or something. I don't know.
I know.
It's just, like we've been forced out. We're going to be last back because until there's some sort of vaccine or treatment or something, gigs aren't going to be really happening as they were, So we really need to do something for us.
And also with yourself, because you were saying that if you went back and performed live, you particularly have to be so careful because of your medical condition.
Yeah, so I was actually in hospital yesterday. I had to have a test yesterday, a corona test yesterday.
Oh, not pleasant.
I know, yeah. I thought it was going to come out with the eye.
Me too. That's exactly what I said.
I thought it was going to come out with the eye. And then when they went in my throat, they grabbed a woman's arm and pulled it. Because it was making me gag.
Yeah, me too, Christy. I know. It's not a nice test. It has to happen, but it's not pleasant.
Sore.
Yeah.
My throat is still sore from the test.
Yeah, they're quite...
That's neither here nor there. Yeah, like you were saying, Colin, I can't. I've compromised the immune system. So even when unless there's a vaccine, I can't really go back to work. You know.
So I mean, it's hard to imagine then like life without Aslan. You know what I mean? I mean, like we always loved the summer gigs, obviously in the Ivy Gardens the last couple of years. As you said, you know, you do the Olympia. I mean, are you in a mindset now where you're accepting life without live gigging again?
No, we're looking for different alternatives. We're looking for different things to do. I did a few live streams. Now, there's no revenue in that, obviously, but just to get something, just to do something, you know, just to sing. I did a few live streams, and they were amazing. Like, we got an amazing response to them. But as regards getting some sort of revenue, I just don't know how I'm going to do it. You know?
Tell me about it as well, because I've spoken to a few musicians who've gone for, well, they've applied for this sort of grant from Spotify and that. So if you're an established music... Yeah, go on. There you go.
Is it?
We all applied for that. It's the FMC we're running it. You know, there was £1 million. So they were supposed to give $750 each. So none of our band qualified for. I got a letter saying that my application was unsuccessful. I didn't qualify. It was unsuccessful. So he said he paid 400 people £750. So if you work that out, that's 300 grand. There's 700 grand gone into the ether somewhere. I don't know where it's gone, but the money is all gone now. Now, had they have given everybody there was 1,600 applicants. Had they given everybody $650, everybody would have got paid. Yeah. The whole 1,600 of us. But you know, I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
Because I was speaking to another musician who's, you know, again has been around for a while. Like yourself, you're 20, 30, 40 years in the business at this stage. For God's sake, you've written some of the most iconic songs. Part of our DNA, as Tommy Tiernan said. Aslan are, you know, like they're a national heritage symbol almost, and yet you guys don't qualify for a grant.
How
That's
come?
what I was saying. If we don't qualify, who does?
I don't know.
I mean,
yeah.
It's ridiculous. Even the thing, if you remember the thing that he did in the Olympia with RTE, where U2 gave a lot of money for it. Even all our crew applied for that. Yeah. None of the crew, Smokey or any of the crew, none of them qualified either. So I don't know who is qualifying for these things.
I know. It's crazy. I don't get it.
It's a crazy world.
Hey, it is a crazy world. Do you know,
it's a crazy world.
That song will never get old because every year it's a crazy world and it resonates.
Yeah, it's getting crazier.
No more so now than today. Okay, look, the book, Christy Dignam, My Crazy World, the autobiography, is out in paperback edition. Can I say, I've been reading a lot of it, and I mean, like, I remember meeting you when we were like 15 years of age up around Santry in Ballymun, and it's a warts and all. You don't hold back. I mean, right to when you were busted for drugs by Noreen O'Sullivan, who went on to be Garda Commissioner, to the breakdown between you and Conor Goff. We all remember Dignam and Goff going to be the next big thing, and so you're very honest in the book, I've got to say.
I mean, what's the point, Colin, if you're going to do it? Like, I'd be always afraid that if I said something like this on, somebody like Lucy would come here, you slime bag. That's not true. And I'd be caught by the short and curlies. Yeah. So it's something. Even when I do interviews on TV, it's something I've always tried to be. I've tried to be as honest as I can.
That's why people love you.
I know.
Because you're real, you know.
Listen, if you were part of Aslan growing up, from seeing the guys first in Finglas, Janelle Shopping Centre, where you used to do gigs, right through to where we all saw you, it's well worth a read. Get a copy of it. And the last line, and this isn't a spoiler alert, but I like just the last line of the book, which sums you up, Christy Dignam. And I never sold my soul.
No, you haven't. Not yet.
I rented it out a few times.
Listen, we're going to come back to you. I'm going to play a track now. We're going to come back to you because this is actually something that you recorded for us, and it's timely and it's also poignant because you were in with us about 2 years ago. We were out in the street for our homeless appeal, the Radiothon.
2 years ago.
2 years. This one was 2 years ago, and you recorded a song called "Where Is the Sun." Now, do you remember writing that song? You said it was about 20 years old.
Yes, that's what I do. Yeah, when we recorded that was done with This Is. So that was going to be the next single after this, or after Crazy World.
Yeah. And it's poignant then because you were making the point about homelessness and the need for, for the message to get out. And it's poignant now when we read about, amazing people like yourself and artists and musicians and comedians who are on the brink of that issue as well, which I think is scary. So this is
scary,
it. Yeah, I know. This is it live. Have a listen to this, and we're going to come back to Christy and ask you the last 5 questions.
So don't go anywhere.
You'll never be asked. Here we are. Okay, here we go.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
Now, Christy, how are you feeling these days?
I feel
How's
okay,
your health?
I'm doing chemo at the moment, so it's a bit rough, obviously, when you're doing chemo. But for the last 2 weeks, I've had a bit of a cold, so they couldn't give it to me. So I was in there yesterday and last Wednesday, and so that's when yesterday, when I said I had a bit of a cold, they sent me straight down for a COVID test, just to make sure it wasn't COVID. So you
get the results tomorrow?
Yeah. I haven't had the results back. But I'd be terrified because my cardiologist told me if I get it, he said, just don't get it.
Yeah. And
you just have to avoid everybody.
How long more do you reckon you're going to be on chemo? Have they told you?
Well, you see, my condition, Colin, the way it works is there's a protein rises in me marrow, and that rises to a certain level. I have to go on chemo to bring it down, and I might get a year then free, of chemo, and then it starts coming again. So that's the way it's been for the last 6-7 years.
Just on a light-hearted note, somebody just texted in to say, what are the other guys doing? Is Billy gone back to making cakes during the lockdown? Was he? Was he a cake maker?
He worked in bowling. Yes, that's how he got into the band.
He was a baker.
Yeah.
Well, he says he was a baker. Christy, how are Catherine, Ciara, all the family?
Catherine's here beside me. She's just ready. Catherine's still working, so she's kind of got a couple of days. But the whole hairdressing thing's gone to bits as well,
Yeah.
Because years ago, she's only a small hairdresser. So years ago, you could bring somebody in and do a colour, put them aside and do a few blow dries. But because now you can only have so many people in the salon, you can't do that. So that's not even covered in costs.
You give her a big kiss from me.
Okay, just before we let you go, Christy, as we do with everybody, it's the last 5 questions you'll ever be asked. Are you ready for these?
On Radio Nova.
Yeah.
If you'd like to start, Lucy.
Okay. Christy, what was the last movie that you watched?
Oh, God. Last movie I watched.
Yeah, ask Catherine.
Ask Catherine,
Once Upon a Time in America. I watched it again the other day, yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Once Upon a Time in America
choice.
or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in America.
Oh, yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
The 4-hour movie, good movie.
Yes, it's brilliant.
Okay, what's the last takeaway you ate?
Thai green curry.
Ooh, nice.
What time did you go to bed at last night, you little brat?
I haven't gone to bed yet.
Oh, no!
Christy!
Wow.
He's a vampire.
Are you up all night?
Yeah, I don't sleep. I never did. Well, since I got diagnosed, I haven't slept 2 consecutive hours. I sleep an hour and then I get up. But with Holly,
he dozes on the couch, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. But with Holly especially, she's up fiddling all night. So I have to be. I was out with her at 4 o'clock this morning, out the back, cleaning up our piddle.
So once everyone knows, Holly is not like a granddaughter or anything. Holly is your dog.
Holly's her new little.
Holly's my girlfriend.
Little Yorkie. Are you still? You wish. Are you still doing yoga in the back garden?
Yes. It's Tai Chi. It's not yoga.
Tai Chi. Sorry. Fancy schmancy pants.
When's the last time you wore a hat, Christy Dignam?
Last year. When I came out, I came out, I'd been doing chemo, and my hair was a bit baldy, so it was sunny out, and my scalp was getting burned, so I wore a hat.
Okay.
Last time.
Nice.
Last time.
And finally, I think I know the answer to this. When was the last time you cried?
When Jack died a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Christy.
3 days. I couldn't eat for 3 days, couldn't sleep for 3. He was me wingman. You seen it, Lucy. He used to come everywhere.
You were Ant and Dec.
Oh, and it was so sudden. What happened was one of his heart valves popped. So it was just real sudden,
Oh, sad.
Devastating.
Little Jack. Of course. So sorry.
Holly's kind of taking the sting out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
And she's beautiful. Jack sent her.
What age was Jack?
12.
Same as my
and I had him
Rocky.
since he was the same size as Holly now.
Oh, bless.
I had him since he was a baby. But he was a wingman, Colin. He came everywhere with me. He was on the Hot Press cover. He was on Hello Magazine. He was on Lucy Show.
Yeah.
He was great.
Brilliant.
He was a real once-off, wasn't he?
He's special.
Just to say, Christy, as always, great connecting with you. Christy Dignam, My Crazy World, the autobiography, is in, I call it softback, paperback now.
Paperback.
Some fitting tributes to some great friends as well. I loved reading the bit about Sven, the manager that you never paid because he never wanted any money. He just wanted love and respect, and he gave you guys so much. And he died tragically in a fire. Fitting tribute to him in the book as well.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
Let's do this.
The Colm and Lucy Good News Session.
Yeah, in this very sad world where there's so much bad news and Donald Trump, every now and then we like to bring you a little bit of good news.
We do, everybody, and we all need a little bit of good news now and again. I'll start because I have breasts. You okay, Hazy? You're just dancing to the music?
I'm just dancing to the music. Ladies first, please.
Okay. I thought you were miming. I didn't really know what was going on.
That was kind of something, I'm not sure.
That's his French dance. I
Yes,
understand.
jazz improv.
Jazz improv. Taking part in regular sports sessions boosts better behaviour and social skills in young schoolgirls. It also helps them reduce the risk of suffering from ADHD and other attention deficit disorders. For girls, but not boys, who participate actively in school sports, especially during their middle childhood, sees a huge improvement in their behaviour and attentiveness in early adolescence. So I have quite a lazy 8-year-old. Like Jack, my son, he's nearly 11. He's into everything. He would kick a fly around the garden. He just wants to play sport. Hals is a bit lazy. She's 8, and she just wants to, play with her dolls and the odd bounce on the trampoline. So I am actively trying to find something for her to do. If anybody can suggest, I'd be very grateful. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, God.
Now to the next lady, Hazy.
Okay. Are we ready? Are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready? Or no, you want Clint?
Okay, well, I'll go then. Noise can make or break a dining experience. It's official.
Yes.
University researchers in my own Australia at Flinders University in Melbourne there, they've done the research, Lucy, so you'll be happy to know. And I think this would be more your style, Colm, because when you cook the dinner and the tagine at home, you would put on some soft music in the background to eat it over, wouldn't you?
Soft, not necessarily soft, but certainly music.
Okay, well, now,
God.
So the key here is soft, Colm.
Okay.
So you could be ruining your cooking by playing annoying, loud music.
Oh, God.
You'd be disturbing the diners officially by the University of Flinders
Can't live
University.
with Hazy ever.
Exactly. So all you need is sort of elevator-style background music.
My arse.
No, just the
Some might call it whale music.
Even that, Lucy. So a person like yourself here, technically older people and females in particular, do enjoy their food better with that soft, dull sort of elevator music in the background while you're in the dining experience. Yes, not your loud, rackety hip hop and R&B.
Yeah. Now my crazy
Clint,
rock
I think
and
that's a very valid point, and I do find that my problem with my dear friend Colm is he just turns the music so bloody loud.
Yeah, I know.
And then he's got to put the headphones on, and it's very annoying.
I wonder how his family feel.
Exactly the same, Lucy. Constantly, I'm being told. Yes. I mean, my children tell me to turn down my loud music.
There you go.
That's how bad things are,
But this will make your dinner taste better, Colm. Your food will taste better.
Finally!
Yeah, but at that point, he's locked.
Finally, it's good news for everyone going to Lincolnshire Zoo in England.
Good.
Yes, because 5 foul-mouthed parrots have been separated after learning to swear at each other.
No.
The parrots are named Billy, Eric, Tyson and Jade and Elsie. Now, they've been there with another 200 grey parrots, but they started encouraging each other to swear at each other because parrots
Hilarious.
can. So they basically were F-bombing each other across all the... And kids were coming in going, oh my God, we can't be here. This is crazy.
Naughty stuff.
Yeah.
Steve Nichols, who's the CEO of Lincolnshire Wildlife Park, said, we saw it very quickly. We're quite used to parrots swearing, but we've never had 5 at the same time. Brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, it's a brilliant story.
So they have now moved them. But the highlight now in the park still remains Chico. Okay,
Chico.
so
Chico's
Chico,
the dirty one.
No, Chico's not a dirty one. Chico decided, no, I don't want to learn how to do all the effing and blinding.
Yes.
I want to learn how to sing Beyonce's If I Were a Boy.
No.
Yes,
Is Chico a boy or a girl?
No.
Chico is a boy.
Okay.
And he can sing If I... Now,
Boy with the winky.
Okay, so have a listen to this. You're going to hear this. Now, Lucy, we should put this up later because this is a parrot.
Is this real now?
This is absolutely real. And if you Google If I Were a Boy...
We'll put it up at nova.ie.
Okay, Chico the parrot, have a listen. Here he is singing If I Were a Boy.
Are you serious?
I am. That, ladies and gentlemen,
Is joking.
is a parrot.
You've got to be
You
kidding.
are joking, Hazy.
Okay, stick it up on
Nova.ie.
Nova.ie. Stick it up on Twitter. Stick it up your taxi. Stick
Go
it up.
Gino.
Sorry. And have a listen. Chico.
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 And that's all he can sing.
Let's
And
not get his name wrong.
that, folks,
That'd be awkward. That'd be awkward.
That, folks, is our good news.
Hey.
Come on, Chico. Come on, Eileen. There, you seen it.
Lucy,
So-
it's real. He's not pulling us
Send
off.
it to me.
Yes.
We will send it and we'll put it up on Nova.ie. It's the most amazing thing you'll see since the child
Oh,
on the
my
jet
God.
skis. Yeah.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
I may need the help of some people.
Well, we've said that before.
Please.
Yeah, and it's not
Just
me.
get that cream. It'll be fine.
It's not me. No, this time it's not me that needs the help or the cream. In awkward places. No, it's my dog, Rocky. So, like, Rocky's now 12 years of age. He's a good old dog. He's a King Charles. A bit of fun. But he has, well, what I can only describe as, and I think, I don't know if other people have dogs, it's limp tail. Oh, Jesus. So limp tail, basically, you know the expression, you've got your tail between your legs?
Yeah, the old saying.
Okay, well, that's where it comes from.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. So he's walking around with his tail between his legs.
And you Googled this.
And
thing.
he can't wag, right? He cannot wag his tail. He's wagless.
Not where his tail should be.
No.
Yeah,
but
where's his tail
is meant to be erect at the back, right? And
Always.
wag
Does
and
Does he
wag
not
it
have a
around.
small tail anyway, like a little stubby thing?
No, but his tail is between his legs. It's actually now under his bottom.
He's undercarriage.
Yes.
Is he scared, Daisy?
No, he's got limp tail.
So what is it?
Well, we're checking, but I need people to help me out there because Alex checked it, and limp tail could be from overexhaustion.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean to be rude, but he doesn't exactly run through the fields, does he?
No, see, this is the thing, right? He does. So he thinks he's a pup sometimes. So what happens is you take him out for a walk, and if he smells a bit of food around, right, he remembers where that is, okay? And then you walk him then for about another, say, kilometre, and you take him off the lead, and he boots all the way back to where the food is, and you have to go running back after him, right? Because he thinks about food a lot, okay? It's a bit like me. But so you have this, and I don't know what we should do. Somebody said give him an anti-inflammatory. I don't want to give him an anti-inflammatory. Some people say
Why don't we phone Alex Petrilli or someone who's...
or somebody's had a limp tail. So it's the bizarre thing. The other thing is he can't sit
Is
down.
it sore, I wonder?
Yeah, because he can't sit down because his tail is underneath him.
So someone asks Hazy, was your dog swimming?
So no, don't take him to swimming lessons.
He wasn't in the sea or anything?
No, he doesn't. In fairness to Rocky, he doesn't like that nonsense.
Okay.
He doesn't like that. He doesn't.
Hazy, might I suggest that maybe the chap has an itchy bottom?
And he's trying to itch it with his tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's funny now because what he does is he can only sit.
Do it. Just do it in the studio. Do an impression of Rocky.
I'll tell you the way he did. Do you remember what you
Clint,
did
go
on
Insta
Monday
Live,
night?
Clint, go Insta Live.
Do you remember what you did on Monday night?
What did she do?
The downward dog. You need to move on from
the
this. I
downward-
feel like you want a private yoga lesson.
Yes, he
It's
does,
very
Lucy.
sleazy.
No, listen. That is the way Rocky has to sit at the moment. Is forward like that because he can't go back.
In the
Because
downward, literally in the downward
because he
dog
can't
position.
go back.
Show the listeners now. Show.
Basically,
Show the listeners what it's like to have a limp tail.
Basically,
Bark.
my dog.
Bark for us. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
What sort of
doggy,
creature
do
are
it.
you, Kennedy? So he basically can only sit like
Bark,
that.
Hazy, bark.
And no, again, what are you? Where in this conversation are you?
I'm over here. Just bark. Quickly.
It's quickly and slowly and dance. No, so the thing is, I don't know what to do with him. And somebody said maybe antidepressants. Maybe he's a bit. Well, you know when you've got your tail between your legs, I just don't know.
Do you want advice now or do you want to wait?
Oh, well, just if anyone's... Yeah, we'll hang on to it, will we?
Hang on to it.
We'll come back to it.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
Okay, so my dog has a limp tail.
We think.
Yeah, we think it's limp tail. And a few people out there have similar issues, not with themselves.
Limp tails.
Yeah, with their pets. Louise, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Not too
Good
bad.
morning,
How are you?
Louise.
Hey. So yeah, I've got a cat, and she came in the one day, and like a cartoon, like a tail was like just like hanging behind her.
Yeah.
And when we took her to the vet, it was actually a bit more serious.
Oh.
It had come from like a tail pull injury. So she'd perhaps got it caught in some way. Or maybe like as a car went past, like maybe had caught her tail and she tried to run off from it, something like that.
Wow.
The vet said. So they x-rayed it and everything, and she'd actually broken her spine right near the end.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And so, in the end, she had to have the tail amputated.
Oh,
and,
Jesus.
And no, she's fine now.
Oh.
But we did have to help her with toileting issues to start with, which wasn't pleasant because she had no feeling around the back end.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Oh, the poor thing.
I know. So I was just sending you advice for take your dog to the vet.
When they remove a tail, do you keep it or anything, or is it? I'm just wondering. Do you know the way some people do that? Some people do that.
Well, some people keep umbilical cords, I suppose.
Yeah. Like you can have it at the top of a pen or something.
Please. Oh, God, Hazy.
I got to say, I didn't keep it, no.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you didn't, Louise. That's because you're normal.
Yeah, well, mostly.
Okay, so your advice would be to get down the vet as soon as I can. Now he doesn't go out. He doesn't go out on his own. I mean, I know cats go out on their own and could get caught by the back of a car or something. But he generally goes out with us. Like we never leave him out on his own. You know what I mean? So
I mean, it could be that like he caught it on a bush or something like that.
Could have, yeah. Never thought of that.
And just kind of pulled or ran away. Went to run away and it kind of pulled it.
All
but
right.
it might just be. I mean, she gave the cat anti-inflammatories. Our wonderful vet at Black Lion in Greystone.
Oh, okay.
Quick advert. And she gave her anti-inflammatories to start with, just to see if that took it down. But it didn't help. But she said it could have helped. So,
all right.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I'll check that out. All right, Louise. Listen, thanks for that.
Thank you, Louise.
Edel, do you have a dog, a cat, or a tail?
I have.
Wow.
I have a dog called Kitten.
Oh, and what happened?
She loves to swim. So the first time she got swimmer's tail, we call it was up in Donegal, and we found this really beautiful river, and we went in under the bridge, and she went in for a swim, and she wouldn't come out.
Oh.
So that night, we noticed her tail was limp, but it wasn't too bad that time. But after we came home, we realised that her tail would go limp after swimming. And then one time it got so bad, she was crying. She couldn't sit. She couldn't lie down.
Oh.
And she's usually a very quiet dog.
Yeah.
So to hear her crying like that, we knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
So what she needed it's the cold water has an effect on the nerve in the tail. So she needed an anti-inflammatory injection and some painkillers for a few days.
Well, she seems happy there in the background now.
She's barking at the pigeons. How dare they?
Okay, so an anti-inflammatory is probably the answer. I actually wanted to Rocky maybe jump in the river when somebody took him out walking and it was very cold or something. Maybe something like that. Yeah.
You'd probably know if he'd been in the river, but what I would say is the tail is a very important part of the dog's body, and if it's causing them pain, it definitely needs attention.
Okay.
From the vet.
And it is like he had limp tail, so he's literally walking with his tail between his legs. It's quite bizarre, isn't it? Yeah.
He could just need an anti-inflammatory, or it could be arthritis, or it could be that he's injured it, but he definitely needs some pain relief.
Okay. Thank you for the advice. Cheers, Edel.
Thanks, Colm.
All right, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh.
dear, this thing is broken.
Oh, is it? Is it filled with spit?
Oh, yeah.
Spit and snot.
Oh, okay. Welcome anyway. Our Man at the Movies, Clint, brought to you by Manhattan Popcorn, Ireland's favourite popcorn. Check out manhattan.ie.
Netflix has an offering this weekend for you to enjoy. It's called The Boys and the Band. It's an all-star cast. When I say all-star, I mean all-star cast. They actually were all together for the Tony-winning version of this Broadway play back in 2018, and then they were offered a load of cash to do it for Netflix, and they've done it well. It's set in 1960s New York. Now, 1960s New York was very fancy, very well-to-do, but of course, if you were a gay man in 1960s New York City, you were pretty much in secret.
Yeah.
And so this group of friends are gathering for a party hosted by Michael, played by Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. And that's where one of the big names is mentioned here. And what begins as an evening of drinks and laughs sort of changes when Michael's past shows up on the doorstep, a friend from his past, and then Michael goes down a darker turn and he decides to play a game with his guests.
Hey everybody, game time. We all have to call the one person we truly believe we have loved.
My God, Michael, you're a charming host.
Who makes the first call? If you make the call, you get 1 point.
I'm not playing.
Who'd you call, Hank? Would you call me?
If the person answers, you get 2 more points.
I just wanted to tell him that
I love him. If you tell them that you love them, you get a bonus. Who are you going to call, Alan? You ended the friendship because you couldn't face the truth about yourself. I'm sorry.
I like the idea of this.
See, this has a bit of you written on it. It's confronting, it's challenging, and it's queer.
Yeah.
It's worth a watch for all those things. Like, you said, Lucy, there when I told you it's 1960s New York when gay men couldn't be gay men. So there's that underline here. And then there's a bunch of fabulous guys just having fun at a party. And then they're asked to question themselves and what they really think about themselves.
I like the premise that you've got to go back to ring somebody, the first person you ever really, truly loved. And you have to ring them.
Who would you call?
The
first column.
Bernie.
Okay.
Here I am.
Lucy, who would you call?
You phone Bernie? I'd phone Rich.
No, come on.
No.
With all due respect.
No, with all due respect to both our parts. You have to go back.
The very first. Proper
the very
love, Lucy.
first, yeah.
The proper...
For what? If I was dying?
No. This is a game we're playing right now. You and I are having a dinner party. It would be like if we were able to have dinner tonight, right?
Yes.
So I pass you a phone. You have to call the first person you ever truly loved.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Would you know, Colm?
Yeah, I do.
Would you know their number?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Well, I don't know the number, but their initials are AB.
Okay.
Yeah.
My initials there would be DS.
Yeah.
And would you know how to find them now?
Yes.
I know how to find them on Facebook, probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would you say?
Wow, this is scary.
See, this is
well,
where
you want
it
to
goes.
invite them?
Yeah.
I'd say, Howie Fix, haven't seen you so long. It'd be great to catch up, fancy dinner.
And would you say I love you? Loved, even?
Oh, yes, of course I loved.
3 points.
My first
3
love.
points.
Okay, so then you pass the test. There you
Okay.
go.
My first love, of course. I think everybody loves their exes.
Okay, so
the
now
exes were
imagine
horrible.
that, and imagine that was secret.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a gay woman who couldn't tell that girl
In the 60s.
in the 60s that you were in love with them. Imagine that thrust of
I think it's just awful. I hate the fact that this
And that's
even went
why
on.
this movie is kind of awful, I have to say.
It's awkward and awful or awful?
Just uncomfortable.
So I heard 2 reviewers last week on another radio show on...
What are you doing?
On RT Radio 1, right? Very highfalutin stuff.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop shouting and screaming about it. They said it was the best thing this year. They absolutely adored it. So
It's good.
Yeah.
I found it not that good.
Oh, okay.
Because I just didn't... I found it just too confronting for confronting's sake. I mean, we all know it was a tough time for homosexuals back in the day.
Yeah.
And I just think this was just confronting for confronting's sake. Anyway...
Confrontational for confrontational sake, just to correct your grammar there. Sorry.
I'm still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
3.5 stars.
Okay, 3.5 stars.
If you are in a position to head to the cinema, though, if you're outside of Dublin, I would implore you to get to the cinema and watch Rialto. Now, this is Tom Vaughan Lawler. Nidge from Love Hate. This is Nidge like you've never seen him before.
Okay.
And when I say that, David turned to me at a point in this film and went, Jeepers effing up and jump and da.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
It's Nidge like you've never seen him before.
Okay.
And I found this more confronting and more brilliant than Boys in the Band.
Now, I've read reviews of this, and some people are saying it's like the darkest movie ever made.
It is. And that's why I think, because I guess it's Irish. I know and love Tom Vaughan Lawler.
Yeah.
But I found this more getting me at the core.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's about just your everyday middle-aged man. His name is Colm.
Hello.
He's got a couple.
Is that Tom?
This is Tom. His name is Colm. He's got 2 kids, a lovely wife. He lives modestly.
It's not Bernie, is
He's been doing a job he's been doing for his whole life. It rings a little true.
Bless.
Powerful stuff. But something happens in Tom's life, Colm's life, and things change. And here's a taste of Rialto.
A thing happened today. It was this lad. He hit me a few digs, took me wallet.
Someone here to see you?
What do you want?
Money.
I like you. Yeah? Our secret.
This frightens me.
You don't even know me.
I've been lost, all right? I want to be straight out all of life. I want to be a good person. There's no lies between us.
Ooh, very dramatic.
Oh, I've heard seriously good reports about this. I'm dying to see it.
Lucy, you must. It is. If Tom can't win every award available to him for this film,
that good.
He is amazing.
There is an injustice in this world.
Okay.
Yeah. He is amazing.
But this, Lucy, this story, the way it's filmed, the way it looks. You are in Rialto. You're taken to Rialto. You're taken all over Dublin.
Really?
You're taken within people. You're taken to... you will cry, you will feel, you will do everything in
Is it love-hatey?
No. There's love-hate elements because love-hate is Ireland, it's Dublin, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you're looking at Nidge, after all. He is Nidge, he is forever will be Nidge. But
same voice.
This isn't Nidge though, Lucy. This shows the versatility of an amazing, amazing actor in Tom Vaughan Lawler. And
I love him.
This is a 5-star film.
Oh,
there you go.
Clint, I'm not surprised.
5-star.
Everybody has gone mad about this.
So this is available at the moment only outside County
Cinema.
It's the best of the Colm and Lucy Breakfast Show on Radio Nova.
That's it from the Colm and Lucy podcast. We'll have another podcast up next week. And remember, you can join us live on the radio. Radio Nova, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10.
The Colm and Lucy Podcast. Seriously addictive podcasting.
From Nova.ie and Radio Nova.